All right, guys, Easter Sunday. We've been pedaling with the old 8N Ford. Thought I'd do an update. This tractor, this project's not been very popular, but there's guys out there messing with them, so we'll show what we did. We got new alternator brackets, because the alternator was rigged on there and it was flopping everywhere, so she's solid now. Starter rebuild. I think y'all seen that. New voltmeter and new oil pressure. Oil pressure was broke. New battery, we already had that. Y'all seen that. And starter solenoid. Okay, so what we've done over here is we have positive battery cable, and then under here we have two. I don't know if y'all can see that. We have two red wires. One of them has a fuse on it. Right there has a little fuse holder on it, and the fuse holder goes to the ignition switch. Non-fused wire goes to the alternator, and this yellow wire goes to a relay I'll show you in a minute. And my tube that I got off of Amazon for here doesn't fit, but I had my boy try to put it on there and he said it wouldn't work, but the exhaust clamp is turned. I need to turn it that way where the bolts are facing forward, because it's hitting this bulge right here. So I think if I turn it sideways, it'll clear. I may have to put a dent in the pipe or something. But anyway, all right, go to the other side. Let's take my chair. What do you think? All right. Blue wire is to the coil. New plugs, wires, cap rotor, Pertronix igniter in the no points. It should start every time, all the time. Blue wire goes to the positive on the coil. On the coil, I don't know if you can see it or if I can find it to point it out. See, there's a red wire and a black wire. They both go to the Pertronix in the distributor. Alternator, see, one wire straight to the battery. But you know how it is, you get a bunch of crap piled on your cables, so you don't want to do that. I run it to the solenoid, and then from the solenoid we run over here and we have this group of wires. So red is power to your switch, comes out of the switch on this black wire. They were made on the switch, the yellow and black wires. So put the black wire up here, turn the key on, it makes all of this hot. So down here we have power to I have a solenoid under here. We'll discuss more of that in a minute. Power to my solenoid, ignition power to the solenoid, and then this yellow wire comes from the solenoid and goes over there to where I showed you on the starter relay. This is a relay, that over there is a solenoid. So yellow wire goes to the solenoid. Okay. Up here we have a volt gauge. It has 12 volts from here, and it has a ground. The ground we ran down to the transmission. And then this blue wire goes to the starter button. We discussed, if you remember, if you watched all the videos, and I couldn't find a video anywhere on how to wire this up. Everybody converts these to 12 volts, and they just put a regular ignition switch in here that starts like your car does. You turn it on and turn it against the spring to start it. But in these old tractors, that's dangerous, because if you have this tractor in low gear and one of your kids walks up here and hits the key, it will start in gear and it'll run over them. So it's not safe. So you have this button, see, it won't allow you to push it when it's in gear. When it's in neutral, it'll let you push it. So anyway, I have it rigged up where it doesn't work unless the key's on. So anyway, we'll turn the key on. You can see the gauge light up. It's hard to see in the dark. See, it's lit up. turn it off. It's dark. Now so the key's on. We have power to the blue wire. Well, we have power to here, which goes to there and then goes down here to all these wires. So we have power to the blue wire. Power to the red is to the alternator all the time. And this key is just on and off. That's all you got, on and off. So, like I said, now this, and I couldn't find, of course it doesn't run because I don't have the fuel tank on it. I couldn't find anywhere on the internet where anybody showed how to wire the starter up using this factory button. These tractors were originally generators, and they were positive ground. So the wire just run from here to the solenoid over there. But with a negative, with a solid state unit like the alternator and the Pertronix igniter, you can't reverse polarity, so it has to become positive ground, negative ground. Has to become negative ground. You can't hook them backwards. So now you can't trigger the solenoid over there with the ground. It has to have battery voltage to trigger it. So what I've done is I put a relay right here, and then the relay uses, if you was using this relay for something like a heavy draw, like a horn or headlights or something like that, you would run this red wire to the battery, or to a battery source back of the alternator relay, solenoid somewhere. But this is not drawing any current at all, just tripping another relay, so we don't have a problem with that anyway. There's 4 wires on the relay. You have battery voltage, and you have key voltage, and you have ground. And then you have an output, which is your yellow wire. So when you rig this up, you can use them for many, 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 many things. You rig this up, you can either ground it and have a button trigger the green wire to close this and make it turn on whatever you want to turn on. But I rigged it up so I can use this as originally ground, because it was positive ground, so it just grounds it. But now that it's negative ground, the ground's not, it won't trip my solenoid. So I put the ground, you push this, it grounds the blue wire, closes the solenoid, which hooks this wire and this wire together, red and yellow. When you ground it, this is key on too already. When you ground this, the relay hooks these 2 wires together, which puts voltage over there to kick that. So that's the only way I could come up with to make the starter button work. Like I said, I don't want anybody to be able to start it in gear. I'm going to sell it, and I don't want anybody to get hurt on it. Okay, now my wiring, I was going to show. See, I do the wiring instead of just running these 2 wires side by side and then turning off this way. I go past it and then bend it back, and I'll cut these zip ties off here in a minute. I got them zip tied to show you. I'll cut these zip ties off, and I'll tape this, and then I got split loom. I'll cover all this wiring with split loom. Down here under the battery, I don't know if you can see, but down here under the battery, it's done the same way, and I've already taped this because it's kind of tight quarters. Yeah, you can kind of see that. See how I taped all that? It's done the same way. They're folded so it doesn't try to pull out of the seam of the split loom when you're messing with stuff. So that's it. We got got it all done. This thing needs a battery box, but I don't know as I'm going to put one on it. Maybe let the next owner. He may want to weld him up something or something. The battery box is pretty involved to change. I just don't know that I'm gonna mess with it. I got my new drain, block drain. So we're gonna put coolant in it. We're gonna loom all my wires, tape everything up, loom it, tape and zip tie it to here, and split loom it, tape it up, and put the hood on it, put antifreeze in it, and we'll be back here directly when we get it running. Well, we might not be back today, might be later in the week. We got to do something with the exhaust over there. Anyway, we'll see you in a minute. Excuse me. All right, guys. Here we are. We got a little work done. I ain't gonna lie. Kind of went off the rails here since the first part of this video. Been about a week. So we started by modifying the air intake to get it to hook up. We shortened the, if you remember, we shortened the, cut this off a little bit, shortened it, got it to fit in there, and we were gonna take this clamp loose and turn it. Well, the bolts broke, no big deal, new bolts. But the exhaust pipe has a flange, and I noticed it was loose before. So when I got the clamp off, there's a bevel in here that seals on the intake, on the exhaust, and it was all rotted away. So we now have new clamp, new exhaust pipe all the way. And then I was just gonna pull my tires off. This tire comes right off, no problem. So gun's flat. I just had them fixed at the tire store and it's flat. So I guess we get to pull it back off. Anyway, that's nice. I noticed this bolt right here is broke. So we have a new bolt ordered for that. Got all my wiring done. I need to put some split loom on here. I'm gonna put split loom on that electronic ignition wiring. Gotta put coolant in it. How about this one? This one's up. Okay, got all my wiring done. See, I got everything taped up, split loomed up. I got it zip tied a little bit right here. Got it all lubed, taped up. New gauges. Got my new gauges installed. So, there and there. So, we're gonna, well, we were gonna take it off the jacks, but I guess now we're gonna pull the front wheel back off of it. Golly. I can't believe that. Oh well. So we're gonna put coolant in it, put the hood back on it, and we'll come and show you. Got distracted, got aggravated about my tire. Anyway, here's the exhaust pipe. See how that's all rotted off. It's junk. But anyway, back to the wheels. I was just going to yank the wheels off, carry it and have my new tires put on it. Pull that one over there off. Got over here to this one, and the lug nuts were so deteriorated, just couldn't get them off. I tried every trick in the book, so I put an ad on Facebook to get somebody to come over here with a torch, cut them off. And of course, 4 or 5 people, they showed up. They commented of every way in the world that they thought you could get them off, and I told them to come do it, And they all got pissy. How funny is that? I asked for help, and you give me a suggestion, and then when I tell you your suggestion won't work, you get mad at me. Okay, but anyway, one guy, the ad actually said call me, not to message or nothing, because I was working, not playing on the phone. And one guy called, said he has Lone Star Construction here in Palapinta County. He called, he showed up, he torched my lug nuts off, did a great job. So then we went to get new lug nuts. We drove one of those out of the other side, went to Napa and ordered new studs and nuts. When we came back over here, they only had 5, which is 5 is all I thought I needed. When you count your studs to get the proper count, be sure and count them before you knock one out for reference. I knocked one out to take with me to get the right one, and so when I double counted to check my how many lugs the wheel had on it, there was only 5 in it, so I just got 5. What a bonehead, right? Oh well. So I got another lug nut on order, stud, and 2 nuts. But when I come to knock these studs out, I was having a fit. I grind and beat and grind and beat, grind and beat. Of course, remember, I'm blind, so try doing this stuff with your eyes closed sometime, just for a little entertainment. I finally realized that somebody had tack welded the studs from the back, so I got that ground off and they all came right out. But anyhow, we got it, got the wheels done. I still can't get over that one being flat. Brand new tire, brand new tube. I guess they pinched it putting it together. I don't know. Anyhow, that is irritating. So So we'll have to get that off and get it to them. Crud. All right, we're gonna get to finish zip tie my wire up, put coolant in it, get the hood on it, and then we'll see if we can finish off this video with it running. I wanted to move it. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll air that tire up, move it around front, and jack it back up, take the tire off of it. I don't know what I think. Probably not, but anyway, we'll be back. We'll have it running anyhow. All right, see you here in a little bit. All right, here we go again. We tried to make a video a while ago. I was going to pull this thing around front. I'm going to let the clutch out. That damn seat broke, so guess we won't be driving it on the. If we're going to end the video here today, but anyway, got the oil changed, got everything done, got it running, got the oil filter upgrade done. Pretty neat deal. Just8ends.com. Just bolt the aluminum plate on there, put the fittings out of your old filter in the aluminum plate, hook your lines up, spin the filter on. 21 I don't remember the number now. 25151, something like that. 21515, I think is the number. Napa filter they sent. Got my tires. Of course, this one was fine, but got that one. They pinched the tube. They fixed that. Tractor probably still needs a little carburetor tuning and timing set. I'll have to do a little research on all that. See how the boys experts do it. Got all the lug nuts on. We still got to put the drive line back on. I lifted the 3-point it pulled the drive line into. It's too short for it to go all the way up. And I had to drive the bolt out, so I got to get a new bolt put in there. Other than that, let's fire her up here. Maybe, if it'll the throttle. This thing is some kind of cold nature. Smokes a little, not too bad, but I mean, hell, it's a 70-year-old tractor. So what do you expect? Been setting for, like I said, it's been setting for 6 or 7 years. We drained it, put new coolant in it, put a drain on the motor, a good drain on the motor. Anyway, that's where we're at. This will be the last video. We're gonna put her up for sale. It's on Marketplace for $3,000. I gotta get somebody to fix my seat. Then we'll move her out there by the road. I already got it on Marketplace. But like I said, it's all we like, putting that piece of driveline back in it, fixing the seat. You can go to her new owner. Alright, thanks for watching. Remember, like, share, subscribe. When you subscribe, click the dingle belly and click all after that, and you'll get notifications. I don't do a whole lot of videos, so you won't have a boring driving down the highway video every day like some of those guys. You know, they'll do a 30-minute video, but 15 of it's driving down the highway. You know, I see that when I go on the road, so I don't want to see you driving down the road. Anyway, that's it. Appreciate your help. Help me grow my channel. Thank you.